These 36 YouTube videos have a combined 20 million fake views, and there are thousands more just like them. In this video, I'm going to show you how to identify fake views so you can figure out which YouTubers are paying to play. Welcome to AutoT. When I say fake views, what I mean is views that someone's paid for. They're not earned or organic views like when you or I choose to watch something. I've been investigating paid views for the past year, and I focused on my own field, automotive YouTube, and that's where all my examples come from. But when I looked at other areas, everything I found seems to apply there as well. They turned out to be more of a problem than I first expected. I started looking into this when I noticed that small channels were paying for views as a way to speed up growth, but that was doing the opposite. It was actually hurting them. But along the way, I found out how large channels use paid views to deceive their audiences and their advertisers. And that's not just sketchy behavior. In some cases, paid views are a form of fraud. This all turned out to be too much information to cover in a single video. So I'll have another video explaining how paid views have hurt smaller channels like Hemmings. And I hope to do a follow-up where I explain why large channels like Motor Trend
suck it, Motor Trend,
sometimes buy millions of views in a single month. This video is the nerdy companion to those, because here I'm going to explain the evidence, the specific digital footprint that paid views leave in publicly available data. Anyone can use this information to discover videos with paid views. So if you do that, please comment below about what you found. I'd love to see it. Before we dig into the data, it's important to note that there are multiple ways to buy views. The legitimate way is through YouTube paid promotion or Google ads. And those can be expensive. If I wanted to get 100,000 views for this channel, that could cost as much as $11,000. For the overwhelming majority of creators, promoting your content that way isn't worth it. You're better off spending that money making the videos better. I guess I could hire a band or something. Some creators try to cheat the system with a cheaper option. 100,000 views can cost as little as $300 from a third-party service like a click farm, but that violates YouTube's terms of service. There's an entire algorithm designed just to detect those illegitimate views, and YouTube can suspend or ban channels that pay for those. So while legitimate paid views do make sense for some special cases that we'll talk about, paying for illegitimate views is just stupid. On the public footprint alone, you can't reliably tell if paid views are from Google ads or a click farm. And that means for every video I use here as an example, I am not suggesting that any of those have illegitimate paid views, or that any of the channels I mention have violated YouTube's terms of service. I'm just showing evidence that overwhelmingly suggests they have some kind of paid views. A typical video's view graph looks something like this. It's a mostly smooth curve showing view accumulation over time. All of the view graphs you'll see here are from the website ViewStats. It was created by developers working for Mr. Beast, and say what you will about the guy, he knows how to do YouTube, so it's no surprise that he's behind this site. ViewStats works by logging publicly accessible data. It tracks view and subscriber changes over time, it tracks likes, video comments, and non-quantitative features like thumbnail and title changes. I use ViewStats because I'm a consultant for automotive content creators. That may sound like a weird job, but there's someone whose job is helping zoo animals get pregnant, so weird is relative. And no, this video is not sponsored by ViewStats. I don't make sponsored content. Good content consulting requires analyzing a ton of data. You understand what's working by finding reliable correlations with viewership and identifying factors that limit views. So I track a bunch of YouTube channels' data. After doing that for a few years, you develop an idea of what a successful video's viewership should look like. And for channels with over 1 million subscribers, those all pretty much look like this. This is what you get when the primary driver of viewership is YouTube's recommendation algorithm. This is real human viewers choosing to watch a video that's been suggested to them. I mention the number of subscribers because most videos from large channels get a ton of organic views in the first few days and then gradually slow down. But for smaller channels like mine, view graphs are often lumpier, like this. Changes in the accumulation of views are more irregular, as the recommendation algorithm takes time to figure out who the audience is. But the changes in the rate of viewership still happen somewhat smoothly, forming a curved line. Unlike this video from Porsche. That's a video with nearly 2 million paid views. Those all happened over a 2-week period, and it was roughly the same number of views each day. After that, the daily views immediately dropped to a tiny fraction of what they were. This is the first sign that you've found a video with paid views. A steep increase in daily views, usually lasting for 7, 14, or 30 days, and the views immediately drop after that. Now, I'm not picking on Porsche here for buying views. This is the special case that I mentioned where it makes sense. The big automakers, Ford, Toyota, Hyundai, and so on, each spend about $2 billion a year on marketing, similar to what you'd find from other large companies like Apple. They all have active YouTube channels, and they buy views for some of their videos. It's just part of their advertising plans because 2.9 billion people watch YouTube every month. That's roughly 20 times the number of people that watch the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl is like the Super Bowl of advertising. Big companies buy millions of views legitimately through YouTube promotions and Google ads. This 8 million view Toyota video didn't get there organically. Most of those views are from it playing as an ad before the video that someone actually clicked on. Getting 8 million views through YouTube's paid promotion could cost as much as $200,000, but compare that to $7 or $8 million for a Super Bowl ad. Because these companies aren't creators trying to earn a living on YouTube, they don't care about the impact that all those paid views have on their organic views. And unlike the ways that some other channels use paid views, see my other videos, this doesn't strike me as deceptive. You know these videos are ads when you see one. They're not trying to trick you into thinking otherwise, and for better or worse, these ads keep other YouTube content free to watch. And because big companies like Porsche don't buy views for all of their videos, they're really helpful for figuring out what the paid view footprint looks like. In addition to ads, Porsche's YouTube channel hosts event coverage, news, even instructions on how to set up CarPlay. There's a good chance none of these are paid views, but for videos that have a huge number of views, like this one, there's a good chance many of those are paid, especially when the view graph looks like this. But there are also videos where you can't really be sure, like this one. This is an ad. It's a video that was made by the manufacturer to promote a product. But people like Richard Hammond. I do, so many people willingly watched this video. Videos that have a lot of organic views sometimes also have paid views, but there's no good method to detect that, at least not with publicly available data, and my Porsche contacts don't like me enough to just tell me. Videos like this raise a really important point. This graph looks too much like organic views to say for sure that there are paid views as well, even when we know this is an ad. It's possible that a view graph like this could happen organically. It would be incredibly unlikely given how YouTube's recommendation algorithm works and human audience behavior, but it's not impossible. And that means this graph is not irrefutable proof of paid views. It's just a sign of them. It gives us some evidence. Another reason to be cautious is sometimes you'll see a graph that looks like this, a steep, steady increase and flat views after. But that perfectly straight line is an artifact of the data available to ViewStats. It knows that when the video came out, it began at 0 views, and it knows that 4,000 days later, it had 2.5 million, but there's no data points in between. There's no way it could construct a curve to represent what happened during that period, so it just shows a straight line connecting the dots. And that means this graph doesn't give us evidence one way or the other. So if you see a straight line in a graph, make sure there are more than 2 data points before concluding anything. Even if a graph is showing data from multiple days, if all I see is one video like this on a channel, that's not honestly enough for me to comfortably say that it's got paid views, at least not in a world of giant companies with giant legal departments. But if there are a lot of videos on a channel with this pattern, like you see from major automakers, that's much stronger evidence. And that's why I say a single view graph is just the first sign of paid views. Fortunately, there are still more signs. Take a look at this Hyundai video. It did 10,000 views per day for 30 days, then the views basically stopped. So that has the view pattern that suggests paid views, and Hyundai's YouTube channel has a bunch of videos with this pattern, including an entire series of ads made as part of this campaign. But there's another giveaway here: lack of engagement. Organic views generate a relatively predictable number of likes, usually 2 to 4 for every 100 views. Less than 1 like for every 200 views suggests something has gone wrong, but sometimes something is just a crappy video. This Hyundai video has 1 like for every 6,000 views. Viewers aren't engaging with it by clicking the like button. They're basically ignoring it because it's an ad. People don't engage with ads. They tolerate them. Maybe they chuckle if it's a particularly clever ad, but the only reason they're seeing it at all is because Hyundai paid to put that in front of them. They didn't choose it, so they don't engage. The comments are even more telling. A typical video will get 1 comment for every 200 views. At an absolute minimum, you'd expect 1 comment for every 1,000 views. But this 300,000 view video has just 2 comments. One of those simply says, "Hyundai is junk, never got a vehicle leak oil like this everywhere." The other comment isn't even visible. Presumably it's been blocked for being even worse. I'm legitimately surprised here because I thought there would be enough Julie Bowen fans to pump up those likes and comments, but I guess not. Of course, some videos naturally don't get a lot of engagement. Think about Porsche's how to set up CarPlay video. People don't really engage with instruction manuals either. So once again, you have to use some caution. I'm intentionally choosing really obvious examples for this video, but even so, a like to view ratio of 1 in 6,000 and a comment to view ratio of 1 in 150,000 are possible without paid views, at least in theory. But there's still one more part of the paid view footprint, and this one is simply not possible with solely organic views: negative views. I don't mean viewers who don't like a video. Every video has those. I mean view totals that decrease over time. Negative views can't happen organically. Nobody can unwatch a video, even if sometimes you wish you could. I'll look forward to your cheap shots in the comments. In the case of that Hyundai video, it went from 298,097 views one day to 298,071 views the next. It somehow managed to get negative 26 views on January 2nd, the day after its paid views stopped. How is that possible? Well, if a channel pays YouTube to promote one of its videos, that channel has to pay for the views it receives through that promotion. But remember, that algorithm YouTube has that checks for illegitimate views, that includes stuff like spam comment bots. If that algorithm finds illegitimate views among the ones you're paying for, YouTube removes those views so you don't have to pay. The illegitimate view algorithm takes some time to identify those, so you'll often see negative views for a day or 2 after a video's promotion period ends. For the Hyundai video, that promotion ran for 30 days, and the next day the illegitimate view algorithm caught up and removed some views so Hyundai wouldn't get overcharged. You can see the same thing with that Porsche video from earlier. It was doing 130 to 150,000 views per day, and on the day after the promotion period ended, it got negative 271 views when the illegitimate view checker caught up. So there you go. That's everything you need to know to identify paid views. They have a unique data footprint that includes a distinctive spike and crash, like and comment ratios that are unusually low, and they're often negative views. A great way to start applying this would be to take a look at, say, Motor Trend videos.
Suck it, Motor Trend.
See which ones you think have paid views and leave those in the comments, and include any you find from other channels too. Now, there are things this data can't tell you, like how paid views are used to deceive audiences and when those may be a form of fraud. For the answers to those questions and to find out about channels doing things they shouldn't, check out my other videos, and thanks for watching.